Hey there, Jeffery here from Sephora Pro.
Hey, it's Myiesha, also from Sephora Pro.
And we're here to talk to you about the newest, hottest, latest trend. I'm not sure if you guys have heard about it, but we're really here to talk about #draping.
#draping. Yeah, so sometimes trends get a little crazy, and either you feel that they're a little too weird for you to try, or you have to try every one. It gets really overwhelming, but this one is actually really, really easy.
We'll talk about a little bit of the history. We'll talk about some new products that are coming out from Marc Jacobs and how to utilize them to really access the trend.
Yeah, so as a makeup artist, I like to study makeup in the past. And my favorite decade is definitely the 70s. And if you notice, in the 70s, they wore lots of color, and it was so beautiful. And it didn't just land on the cheeks if you had a rosy glow. It went into the hairline and the temples. It shaped the eye and kind of went outwards. And I forget which decade, but they even would blush their shoulders and collarbones. And it was just more of defining your body and your face with color. They didn't do, a taupey contour like we're doing right now. It was all about that flush of color over any exposed skin.
So really it all kind of originated in the late 70s, early 80s with a makeup artist named Way Bandy. Way Bandy was known as a celebrity artist. He was really big with kind of like the disco era celebrities, known for giving everyone sort of that color glow or that dance floor flush. And that's really what we're looking for with this trend is like, how do you shape the face with color versus contour and taupey shades?
Because when you blush, you don't just blush in one place. You may get a little flush on the chin, a little flush through the forehead. It's a really cool trend because it gives you a really beautiful flush, but it also makes you look very youthful. The funny thing is when I do my blush, I kind of drape without thinking about it. I put a little on my cheeks, and then I put the leftover on my chin and in my temples. And people always ask me why I do it. I'm like, I don't know. I just look, like it pops my face a little bit more. So you might already do that. This is just more of an informative way to teach you how to do it properly.
So let's get into some of the new products, shall we?
Yeah, let's show you some colors.
Are you ready for this? Okay, well, I'm going to close it first and open it so it's like an even bigger reveal. But look, so pretty. And then you open and what?
So pretty.
Yeah.
So the cool thing too about this is that you get two different colors. And aside from draping as a technique, I find that sometimes blush is a bit hard to blend. Sometimes you get those little circles on your cheek, or if you're really trying to go in there and carve things out, you're not doing that. So you have these colors that you can just try to run your brush throughout, but if you have trouble blending, you can start at the lighter end and do that first to get a nice soft flush, and then go in with the darker end. Just like eyeshadow, you start with something more like a transition color and then go in with your deeper colors. So I find this actually makes it much easier.
So I feel like this has got a lot of new and innovative technology in it, and I really think that that's what's going to set it apart from all the other blushes out there is that, there's a lot of technology and thought put behind these blushes. And you get 3 options for the price of one, really, because you can use the darker color by itself, you can use the lighter color by itself, or you can mix them all together and get, your own custom
dark,
color.
And medium.
Which is really awesome.
So some other colors, I think my favorite on myself is this one. It's called Night Fever and Hot Stuff because it has that sort of bronze rose gold, that dark rose gold sort of color to it here. And then it has that like really beautiful pinky color.
So you can kind of mix and match that. And then I think one of the most accessible colors that I think people are going to be really interested in is this one here, which is Flesh and Fantasy. This one is already a hot seller. Like if you haven't swatched it, definitely go check it out at your local store and see because this one will really work for most skin tones I found.
The colors range from this really beautiful pinky bronze shade and then go into apricot and then end at this fuchsia range.
And what's really cool about the ingredient story is that they use an innovative powder called Japanese air powder. We actually have some, so I can show you.
It's really light and it's really fluffy, and I think that speaks to how it applies because when you put it on the skin, it's very unique. It's a very expensive ingredient that's in this powder, and it's super, super lightweight. It just kind of flies away, which is like if I put some on a brush, it's just gonna like fly away. And I think that speaks to how it blends on the skin. It just kind of like, I don't know, it's really strange. It doesn't stick to the skin. It's a very easy blush to apply.
It almost feels like a cream, but it's still a powder.
Yeah,
And I
I'm
think
gonna
one of the
apply
coolest
some.
things, again, thinking about kind of that whole youthful glow and brightening, is I actually want to show you, but it melts into most skin tones, but it does give almost like a luminous skin finish, which is nice. So it's going to look like your skin, but really even.
And I think the cool thing about seeing the raw ingredient is a lot of times people are like, I want a matte blush, but it looks too dry, and I want a cream blush, but sometimes they're hard to apply. This is going to be a luminous powder blush. So it's going to give your skin life without looking dry. So I'm mixing the two shades together, so I'm sticking in the middle. And I want to go around and sort of bring my blush down. I know that seems really crazy, but if you think about the way you blush when you exercise, which I wouldn't know anything about that, but you kind of flush in a sort of a downward sort of way.
And the cool thing about, you know, this soft kind of luminescence is that using this technique and kind of blushing downward is going to give the illusion of more volume to the cheek. So, you know, that kind of fleshy cheek is really youthful, and again, it's kind of boosting that youthful feel.
Because if you do like a glamour blush when it's sort of like swooped up like contour, it makes you look good, but sometimes it can make you look older because you just look more refined, like, you know, a boss lady, whatnot. This is more of a baby doll blush.
Exactly.
Which kind of goes with the whole disco theme. You're dancing, you're blushing, and all that stuff. So super easy. I'm going around and then bringing it down. If I had any hard edges where it didn't blend, I could take a little bit of just a lighter shade and just buff out any edges that didn't blend properly. But
yeah, it's really cool. Like, comes with
really
its
nicely.
own
This is
transition
Kink
shade.
and Kisses. Yeah, I really like this. And I think, too, doing sort of not a baby doll blush, because baby doll blush is like two blended circles on your face, but just sort of making a more of a luminous shape as opposed to lifting with your blush makes you look a lot softer.
Yeah, it's like hugging the volume of the cheek versus the bone structure is what we're really going for. So kind of building that youthful volume is really the goal. So now I think we can bump it up a little bit and really talk about sort of that disco dance floor flush. So this is a little bit more sculpted, but again, since you're sculpting with color, it's still building that volume. It's not so dark that it's creating like a chiseled effect. It's building out that flush or fullness. I think I'm going to use this color here, which is Night Fever and Hot Stuff. So this one's kind of like a soft fuchsia, and I would say like a cranberry. So I'm actually going to use the brush in a little bit different of a way for this first color. I'm going to use the chisel tip of the brush versus the contour because I want a little bit more of a precise application. So what I'm going to do is take
And also, if you use this side of the brush, it's a bit softer because it's longer sort of bristles versus this is more controlled. Just a tip for you if you're brush shopping.
Good to know. I never really thought about that. Okay. So I'm going to use the tip and just go into the lighter color here and just pick them up. And you can see I've got quite a bit of product because I'm going to go for it this time. Like, for sure, we're going for that disco flush. So what I'm going to have you do is just kind of smile just a little bit. And that's going to help me define the fullest portion of the cheek. And from there, that's going to kind of be my entry point or my point of access with the brush. So I'm going to kind of place it right there on the apple of the cheek and then slowly start to pull it down and around until I'm happy with this color. Now, this color, I'm really isolating to the apple of the cheek, and then I'm going to go through later with the deeper color and kind of sculpt a little bit, but I want to make sure that I'm almost bringing it into where I'm going to sculpt so that they have like a seamless transition. And then before I finish this side, I'm going to take a little bit too and run it through the socket line, almost like on the brow bone itself, just to give a little bit of flush there, into the temple, so almost like a straight line here. And then some just along the temple here, kind of bringing in that flush everywhere. And then afterwards, we'll go back through and we'll even bandy blush your body. I think that'll be awesome. Get your neck on and poppin'. Okay, so let's do the other side with the lighter color. So again, smile for me. You can relax. So you notice that my pressure is really light and I'm sort of almost softly applying the blush, so that way I'm getting a wash of color versus something that's so contrived or hard line edged. I'm really just blushing it through the whole cheek. And you'll see too, as we're layering and building, we're getting a lot of luminosity with this blush. It looks really great. Your skin is like beaming right now. I love it. I love brushing it on the temple just a little bit because it gives it that super 70s, 80s disco feel. You know, all the supermodels of the time were kind of getting this super color glow technique. But just build the color. As we've mentioned before in a lot of our videos, it's a lot easier to kind of gradually add color than to get too much all at one time. So I think that's good with the first color. Now I'm ready to jump into the second color. So now I'm going to switch my brush, and now I'm going to use the angle of the brush. I'm going to dip directly into those darker shades there. Take a little bit off on my hand. And now I'm really going to hug the contour of the cheek. So pulling that almost from the trachea of the ear and pulling it underneath the cheekbone and marrying it with that lighter color. So that's what's giving us our sculpt. So really almost, you can even turn your brush underneath the cheekbone so that it really hugs the cheekbone there. And I'm obsessed with Marc's brushes. I feel like they're such great quality, and they have that super pretty glossy finish. Like, Marc has always said that his favorite color is shiny. So of course the brushes had to follow suit. Then I'm going to take a little bit here and kind of brush it back into the temple, making sure that I'm kind of working it into the hairline. It's okay if you get a little bit in your hair because you're going to go back and clean that up, right?
Sure.
Sweet. And then I want to run just a little bit underneath the jawline here. And then turn to the other side for me. So again, just starting kind of at the trachea of the ear and pulling up and into that lighter color. So meeting them in the middle. And you know, this whole like blush situation is really accessible for a lot of people. Like, I know a lot of clients, like, their favorite product or their favorite part of doing their makeup is applying their blush. Yeah, and if you're a blush lover, please let us know in the comments below. Like, hit us up with your favorites for sure. Okay, cool. So I think we should take this look even further. I want to go for it. Let's do it. We're gonna bandy blush your body.
Okay.
So I'm gonna mix all the colors together, and I'm really gonna load up the brush. Like, I want all the pigment in this. Like, I want my brush to be mega loaded. And if you would just open your collar a little bit for me. So I'm going to start here, kind of bring it down the neck, and then really start to work it along the collarbone. Now, the cool thing about doing this is that it actually brings color continuity and makes the look a little bit even easier to wear, honestly. Because when you just do it on the face, sometimes it can be a little shocking and it's kind of jarring between the face and the body. So this kind of completes the look and really takes it there. And, like, if you're going to wear the trend, I say go for it, girl. Like, do it. Do the thing. And then if you had exposed shoulders, anywhere where there was exposed skin, like the shoulders, maybe even just the tops of the arms, you can give yourself a little bit of that flush.
Yeah.
And I'm even taking it, it's even on her ears a little bit, which is cool. You know, like, she kind of like is kind of bashful or like cutesy. I love it.
I really like it. It has way more luminosity than I thought. It's so pretty. I want to do a smoky eye and drag it out.
Why not? Like, I say go for it. Like, pull it up on the temples. Like,
yeah.
Put color everywhere. Okay, well, that's pretty much it. I really love the look, and I especially love it on you because, girl, you can wear some makeup. You got face.
I can wear a whole lot of makeup.
I love it.
I really love it. I think it's really beautiful. And again, the first look we did is more of that sort of natural, easy to wear flush, and you can sort of meet somewhere in the middle if you want to try out the trend, but you want it to be a bit more subtle. We're just showing you on camera so you can see all these little angles and where to put it, and definitely have fun with it.
I think that's the biggest thing about this trend is really, it's just a lot of fun. You know, if you're looking for something, a new way to kind of switch up your look, give you that youthful, rosy glow, this is the look for you, for sure.
Or if you missed the 70s, if you were there. And you missed it,
yeah, you want
could just do
to reminisce,
yeah.
girl. Take it back. I love it. So, as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our channel if you haven't so you can follow the newest, hottest trends like these.
And I feel like there's going to be a lot of questions about this, so leave them below and we will get to them.
For sure. And you know what? Go out there and rock the look. Like, for sure, definitely feel it. These blushes are amazing and I'm loving it. So, see you soon.
Bye.